Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to our case study for February. I'm so excited to share this story with you today and share our very special guest with you all today. We have so many people tuning in right now. We have folks from Georgia, Arizona, Chicago, Maryland, Charleston. Love to see it. And South Africa, even. We have people from all over the world tuning in right now. And I know more and more people are just showing up at the moment. So if you are here, can you let me know with a big heck yes in the chat if you can actually hear me and see me okay? Super important. We have Jean here from France as well. So people tuning in globally right now, which is really, really exciting. Just give me a guess if you can hear me okay and see me okay in the chat. That would be awesome. We are live right now. Heck yes. Thank you, Fulster Farms. Thank you, Alonzo. We are live right now for our monthly case study. So if you are new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you don't know who I am, my name is Sunny, and I'm the founder of a program called the Authority Accelerator, where we help experts basically scale their expertise for global reach and impact. So we help them productize and package their expertise and unique genius into scalable and highly impactful online programs. And we've helped people in over 600 niches to date. If you ever want to take a look at some of our incredible success stories, you can check out our channel. It's called the Authority Accelerator Reviews. You can see it right there. So you can look that up on YouTube and you can see a ton of our case studies and testimonials on that channel. And today we have a very special story to share. So without further ado, I'm going to get into a little bit of info about our special guest, and then I will be bringing him on. So I want you to tell me if you can relate to this line at all. If you are a business owner or an entrepreneur, have you ever felt trapped by your business? Have you ever felt stuck, trapped? You can put stuck or trapped in the chat if that resonates at all with you. I think at every journey, at every entrepreneurial journey, there's someone somewhere that feels that way. And I think that everyone can kind of relate to that. So I know there are a few people here who are probably thinking, yeah, I'm feeling that way and I'm not really sure how to get out of that cycle, out of that trap. So that's a lot of what we're going to be talking about today. And a lot about how to really own your expertise and own your worth and own your value so you can show up and create this truly impactful and scalable business that can reach people all over the world and make a difference and an impact all over the world. Fulster Farm says the business owns me sometimes. I know a lot of people here can relate to that. So if that sounds familiar at all, you're hustling like crazy, you're trading every waking hour for cash, and still at the end of the month, you're kind of going, is this really it? Is this what I'm working so hard for? If that sounds familiar, well, you're in the right place. Chuks has a very similar story, and the end result is pretty remarkable. So here's where the magic happens. So Chuks enrolled in our Authority Accelerator program. He has expertise behind him. He has credibility behind him. And he was able to go truly from zero to hero, which is the transformation we want to create for our clients. So he added an additional $184,000 in income to his family's bank account through creating his online program. He exploded his LinkedIn followers from a modest 2,600 to 20,000, and he's helped 60 clients of his own transform their careers. He helps with high-performing executives who want to up-level their career and their income, and his results are really phenomenal. And he's really becoming the go-to guy, the authority in his niche. That's the whole point. So it's not just a success story. This really is a roadmap, and we're going to be sharing with you some very tactical things today of how to actually do this and how to implement it for yourself. So some of the things we're going to cover is going from expert to entrepreneur. Just because you have an expertise or a skill set does not mean you know how to grow a business around it. So how did Chuks do that? We're going to talk about that today. Properly evaluating the value of your expertise, which is so important because so many people undervalue their skill set and their ability to help others. And then the final piece is going to be progress over perfection, which I'm sure a lot of people, myself included, can relate to. There tends to be a level of perfectionism, and that leads to us waiting too long to get our business to market. And so we're going to talk about the value of truly getting your product out there, getting your online program out there into the world before it's actually ready, and why that's going to pay off in dividends down the road. So without further ado, a couple of housekeeping things, and then I'm going to bring on Chuks. If you can, please give this a like wherever you are tuning in. Give this a like and be sure to share it so we can reach even more people with this inspiring story and all of these tactics we're going to be sharing today. And also, if you're at a place where you are interested in being a part of our Authority Accelerator program, I'm going to ask you to do a couple things. First and foremost, if you have any interest in being part of Authority Accelerator program, you can comment right now with apply, and Nicole from my team is here right now, and she'll actually be able to help you with next steps and see how we can best support you. So if you just comment with apply and you're ready to turn your skill set, your expertise into a highly scalable business online, we will help you with those next steps. Nicole will help you with those next steps. Nicole, feel free to say hi in the chat, and we will go right ahead and bring Chuks on. So I'm going to bring Chuks in. Hi, Chuks. How are you?
Oh, doing well.
Doing well. Your audio sounds amazing, by the way. I forgot to mention that earlier. Not a newbie to this. Thank you so much for being here. I am so excited to share your story. I know people are really excited to hear it as well. I kind of like to start at the beginning because everybody starts somewhere. Tell me a little bit about your journey as an entrepreneur.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, I guess I can probably even just start with my own family. I actually come from a family of educators, but then my grandfather actually was an entrepreneur. My family's actually from Nigeria. I was born here in the United States, and my grandfather, he owned a bunch of different businesses back in Nigeria, and I always kind of looked up to that and thought to myself, it would be nice to own your own business, but I was always also kind of stuck to the 9 to 5 grind too. I thought to myself, it's more secure just to work. And I learned that from my own dad. Like, hey, it's more secure to work, find a job, get a good education, go find a job and just work, work, work. But there was always something on the inside of me that said, you know what, I want a little bit more independence, a little bit more freedom around my time, and also more income. Right. I mean, so that was a big kind of thing for me. So at some point I decided, you know what, I'm going to, start a few businesses. Actually, after I graduated college, started a recruiting company. It did okay, but then decided to kind of go back to work. And then while I was working, I started another company. It was a learning company, and that company did very well. And I was able to kind of walk away from, working full time. And then, eventually, decided, hey, I want to kind of add on another source of income here. And of course, that's when I started kind of searching a little bit and kind of found you, Sunny. And then kind of the rest is history. So it's been great kind of going through the whole process within your program.
Well, I love to hear that story. I mean, it's so incredible what you've been able to do, and I love that you talked about I didn't want to be trading my time for money. I wanted to make more income. That's honest. That's true. That's what so many people feel. And so I know that this story is really going to help people see what's possible when you make that decision that you do want to do something different, that you do want to have a different model for how you operate in your business. So with your own program that you've created, tell us a little bit about the program and how it aligns with your own journey and story.
Great question. So our program, so the title of our program, or the name of our program, is, we help or work with mid-level professionals and executives land six-figure plus roles in 3 months or less. And really the whole gist behind it is, I don't know, I'm sure there's many of you who can probably relate here, have, in the current job market, looking for a new role and wanting to upskill your career or up your income. And the journey has changed. I mean, just looking for a job, it's not, long gone are the days where you could actually walk into an office somewhere, hand them your resume, and then, get a job,
Yeah.
So if you try that today, you more than likely could be, sent to prison or something, or arrested by security.
Yes.
So really our whole gist here is, I was a former executive recruiter. I worked for many different companies: GE, LinkedIn, Microsoft, IBM, and I worked at the executive recruitment level. And so my expertise is in that space and working with those types of individuals. And so I thought, you know what, let me take that expertise and see how can I help the job seeker. How can, instead of maybe helping the company and finding these talented people, how can I reverse engineer this and help the job seeker instead?
Yeah.
And that's when your program kind of, pretty much came into play in showing us how to package our expertise in doing that. And it has been a game changer. I've loved it ever since we started the program, and we've seen some amazing results because of it.
And we're going to talk a little bit more about those results. But I wanted to ask because I think the important thing for people to understand is like, yes, we help you build this business. Yes, we help you create this online program. But there is always a bigger why behind that. And not only do we want to help you create a business that you really love, but the business should complement your life
Yeah.
and should support your goals in terms of what you want your life to look like. So I've had the pleasure of meeting your lovely wife and seeing photos of your adorable child. But for you, what was it about your family
Yeah.
specifically that motivated you to head in this direction and create this online program?
Yeah, great question. So being parent or being children of immigrants, right? So my parents came here from Nigeria. They worked and worked and worked and worked, and I barely saw them, to be honest with you. I mean, they constantly work. I love them. God bless their soul. They tried their very best to take care of us, and being newly here in the United States, but one of the things I knew I wanted was I didn't want to constantly be gone when
Mm,
I, became a parent myself. I
mhm.
also wanted to be there for my wife and be supportive in whatever she wanted to do. And also, I wanted to be able to have the flexibility and the freedom to do things that we never got to do as kids. Never ever got to do, got to travel and do all that stuff. We just didn't have the money, didn't have the time, or anything like that. So transitioning over to being an entrepreneur, and of course, I think, to be honest with you, quite frankly, you wanted to make more income. It costs money to do things.
Mhm.
So one of the things that really was a driving factor for me was to have that flexibility and freedom to be able to be with my family, and also to have the income to be able to have fun with them and do it. Even though you
Yes.
don't necessarily, you could still have fun without having money. Of course, we all know that money's not everything, but at the same time, it does make things a heck of a lot
It
smoother
helps.
for sure. So yeah, so it
It helps.
really does. It does. And if someone tells you otherwise, then yeah, they might not be telling you the truth.
Questionable. Yeah.
But yeah, but it's been great to be able to tack on some additional revenue to, I mean, we've been able to, we've paid off our house.
I mean,
We got to pay off our house early, so we don't ever have, my family is always going to have something over their heads. Here we
yes.
are, immigrants from Nigeria, and boom, we've got something over our head. It's not
Oh,
a
just
raggedy
got
house, it's a
chills.
nice home,
Yes.
very, very nice home. And we've got, all our stuff paid for, everything is taken care of. And it just feels really good. I was just talking to my wife last week about how, it feels more secure actually to be in a
Mm,
business and you own your own business, even though some people are like, that's crazy, right? But
yeah.
I'm not working a job. I have, the business that's bringing in income, and it feels really good to be in this place. And so I
Yeah.
would say that that's what it's afforded us, to kind of have that comfort and that safety and the
Safety.
security of
I
having that.
I think
Mhm.
that's so important to speak to because I think people oftentimes will look at it as like, I need to make more money, I need to have additional income, I need to do X, Y, and Z. But really, the core root of what we're after is that feeling of safety, is
Yeah,
that feeling of not having to worry
yeah,
constantly and be in that constant cycle of trying to make the next dollar.
yeah.
If you can relate to what Chuks just shared, please put I get it in the chat because that was really powerful. I got full body chills a few times when you were sharing all of that. I mean, it's really incredible what you've been able to do and the level of security and safety you've been able to create for your family. And so let's get into the nitty gritty. Let's get
Yeah.
into the details and the tactics, really. So I also just want to shout out Jenny Noble said, I get it. Linda Adams said, I get it. Uh, Keisha said, I can relate. So we're getting a lot of people who are
Awesome.
right there with you. So the first thing I want to talk about is that concept of going from expert to entrepreneur, because
Mhm.
if anyone has a skill set here or has an expertise and you're thinking that you want to create an online program around it, let me know in the chat. I actually would love, this is what the question I'm going to ask. I'm seeing so many more people saying, I get it 100%. Yes. Hi, Ronald. Hi, Herman. Hi, Nancy. What you're here for a reason. So what is the skill set or the expertise that you want to build your online course around? I want you to comment in the chat right now, because just because you have a skill set or an expertise doesn't make you an entrepreneur. It doesn't make you a business owner, and it doesn't mean that you know how to operate a business. So let's kind of start there. Going from the expert to the entrepreneur, what was that path like? And tactically, when you enrolled in AA, the Authority Accelerator, what helped you make that sort of transition?
Yeah, great question. So I think one of the, I guess the one of the biggest eye opener was really following the advice that you actually gave us really early on in the program, and I think you had quoted Mark Cuban. Some people love him, some people hate him. He lives here in Dallas. I like him. I think he's great, but nonetheless, I remember one time he had said, you had quoted actually one of the things he had said, and he said, "Don't necessarily just follow your passion, but follow your results. Where has the marketplace rewarded you?" Right. So, all of you and all of us, we've all, if you've worked a job, if you've worked somewhere, you have something where the marketplace has actually rewarded you, or you do something really, really, really well that's extremely valuable, and you're very good at it, and you actually have expertise in that. And so I think that was step number one, really getting focused and narrowing down on where has the marketplace rewarded me, and then how can I turn that expertise or that value into something that's marketable. So
Mm.
that's been really, really valuable, particularly in the very, I guess, onset of the program. And I think, from a tactical standpoint, just another thing too is just narrowing that down as well, right? So
Yeah.
I think some people wonder is, hey, if I'm very, very narrow, am I gonna like just miss out on business? And it's very funny because, Sunny, I don't know if you remember this, but I remember early on in the program, I remember when I just started, first coaching call I got on with you, and I asked the question, and I was newbie, right? Just fresh in it, right? Spring chicken. I
I'm
go in
scared.
there
What
and
did
I
I
ask
say?
the question. And I said, well, what can you be too narrow? Like, can you be too, what if you're like so narrow, you just miss out on customers? And you just looked at me like, no. And that's all you said. And you said, go through the program. You're not gonna miss out on customers. And so I took that to heart. And yes, you can't be too narrow. There's always a customer for what it is that you have, what you do,
Yes,
and the value that
absolutely.
you bring. So
And ultimately, I think this is really important to understand. The more specific you are on who you're serving, the less friction you experience when you're actually trying to market it and reach those
yeah.
people. Because if we go, for example, with you, if we just said you're a general career coach, you help
Yeah.
everybody and anybody advance in their career, who are you marketing to? You could be marketing to the new graduate out of school who wants to get their first job, would be a completely different message to who
Yes.
you're actually working with, which is high performing executives.
Mhm.
They need they're making multiple
Totally.
six figures a year. They're at a completely different level. They need different messaging. They need a
Mhm.
different approach.
Mhm.
That's why you're able to see consistency and success, is because we have that specificity. So I say this almost every single time we do one of these, but
Yeah.
broad equals broke, specific equals
Yeah.
sales. I know you've heard that many times
Oh
from me,
yeah. Oh
but, but
yeah.
you are also living proof of it. Like,
Yeah.
you go specific, you see the results. I think something you mentioned when we were talking before we came on is really like focusing on what comes most easily to you,
Yeah.
because you had a lot of talents and
Mhm.
experience and expertise coming into this. You had worked for big corporations,
Mhm.
and you had worked in talent acquisition and all these other things. So, what played a part in being able to narrow your focus specifically to high performing executives who are at a certain benchmark of
Mhm.
income and want to basically get to the next level? Like, how did you narrow your focus?
Yeah, absolutely. So a couple of things. I mean, one of them was around. Given that I've worked with these people for so long, I thought to
Yeah,
myself, "Hey, this, like you said, this really comes natural and easier to me than anything else."
yeah,
And so, like for me, even today, I had a coaching call with all of our clients today, and it just comes natural. I don't have to try. I don't
mm,
have to try because you have, let's say you have expertise in some area in what you do, or you're good at it. I mean, you don't have to try. It just comes out of your core. It comes out of your
yes,
being.
yep,
This is you. And so you don't
yep,
have to try. You don't have to like make things up. You know what you're doing. And also you have to realize too, if someone has paid money and signed up and said, "Hey, I want to work with you," that means that you're probably 2, 3, 4 steps ahead of them,
yeah,
right? So they don't know what they don't know. And
yes,
so you coming in and being able to share your expertise is almost like mind blowing for them, right?
yes,
So I think for me, that was one of the things that I've worked with these individuals and it's come easy for me. And also, I also knew that with this particular market, they more than likely, just kind of just thinking about it more logically, for the prices that, I do charge, they would have the income to actually pay for it. So
Yeah.
kind of looking at that, not saying that that's always the thing that you want to look at, but nonetheless, I mean, for me, just being real, that was kind of
Yeah.
one of the things I thought to myself. And I'm like, well, great. I know how to work with these people.
Yes.
They'll be able to afford my prices. This has
Yes.
worked for me. Let's
Yeah.
run with it. So
Boom, boom, boom.
yeah, yeah,
But that's part of doing due diligence, right? Because you
yeah,
very easily could have created a program. And when we first spoke, you asked, is it possible to be too narrow?
yeah,
If you kind of stayed a little bit broader and you wanted to serve everybody, then you would miss the mark in terms of like, okay, who am I actually serving who is
yeah,
able to invest into this, not just financially, but also where they're at a place in their career journey where there's enough pain and urgency for them to go, I need to take this seriously
yeah.
and do the work so that they actually get results from your program. And then
Mhm.
your program has all the social proof and credibility behind it to continue selling consistently, which is what you're able to achieve now. So there's so many golden nuggets in there. If you had a little
Yeah.
gold nugget that came out of that, please put it in the chat. Were you gonna add something on there?
Yeah, no, another thing too, I think one of the things that you had mentioned was, I forgot who it was that you had quoted, but the quote goes like this, that he who knows the customer the best wins.
Yes.
And I remember that, and that really was a game changer for me as well. So when you get narrow, right, you begin to truly understand who your customer is
Hmm.
and truly know them backwards and forwards, so that
Hmm.
your messaging is not for everybody. It's for
Yes.
the very people that you're focused and it's targeted to work for and work with. And
Yes.
so your message starts to get more narrow, starts in all your, branding and copying and all that stuff. It starts to get a lot more narrow and focused. And then you're hitting the right things for your specific customers. And then you're able to draw them into your world, I guess. And if you want to
Yeah.
call it that. So that was a game changer. And I think, through that process of truly understanding, there's some things that, we go through in terms of truly understanding who that customer is. And one of the things I really love, the tactical piece, is actually going out there in the marketplace and talking to those people,
Yes.
right? Not just like doing
Guessing.
research online or, look at a few, Reddit forums. No, you actually go in and you
Yes.
talk to them and then
Yes.
really truly understand who they are. And as you do that, you're gonna know your customer backwards and forward. And
Yes.
you're gonna know how to talk
Yes.
to them. You're gonna know their pain points. You're gonna know how to sell to them. You're
I
gonna know
wish
how
I had
to
sound effects.
so
It's so
yeah,
true. It's
yeah,
so true. And
yeah,
I want to say, I think this really paints the picture too when we talk about specificity, because no matter what, no matter how much we talk about this, people feel very scared of
yeah,
going narrow.
yeah,
The level of impact that you can have on your client is a direct reflection of how specific you are. If you go broad, you stay surface level because you
yeah,
can't possibly get to the real level of transformation that this person needs because you're trying to tackle all these different things. I'll give the example of our program. Imagine if we marketed our program and said, we help you build an online business. What the hell would my curriculum be? It'd be like, you can either build an Amazon store, you can build an
yeah.
online course, you can be a one-to-one coach, you can do all these things. That would not work. Who am I marketing to? And I'd
Yeah,
have this very surface level
exactly.
ability to impact people. But because we impact people who are very specific, the depth of transformation is so clear. So I'm just going to reiterate that again, and I want you to put it in the chat if you hear me on this. You can just quote it. The depth of transformation and the impact that you have on your client is in direct correlation to how specific you are in terms of your ideal client. Okay? So just I want that to be very, very clear. We go broad, we only go surface level. We go deep and specific, we can create really massive and in-depth transformations. So you're a perfect example of that. So thank you for that. Okay, let's move into properly evaluating the value of your expertise, which I think is one of the hardest
Mm,
things for people to do because we take for granted what we're good at. We take for granted our genius zone. So we think it's not that valuable. It's hugely valuable. I mean, just a
yeah,
prime example for you, one of your clients you took from about $200,000 a year in their career to now making over seven figures in their career.
yeah, mhm, yeah,
So like questioning the value and charging $997 for your program makes
yeah,
zero sense.
yeah,
Zero sense. So let's talk about that. How did you get to a place where you were like, okay, I get it now. I get how I can really help people. And I feel very comfortable charging adequately for that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good question. And this even kind of goes to kind of some of the things you were talking about in terms of pricing, like pricing your program. Even though I wouldn't necessarily go into that, but I think what's been really eye opening for me is that just this past year, in terms of salary increases for our business, the amount of salaries that people have increased over, I guess, if you want to count all the different clients that we work with, it's probably been well over $2 million. And so to think about, okay, hey, I'm not going to charge $100 for this, right? So if people are 3xing their salaries, that's huge. It's
Yeah.
very valuable to them. And also another thing too that I've realized is that when you truly understand the pain that your client is going through, often, and I think there was something I will keep going back to a lot of the things in your program that you had mentioned, because I mean, they were very impactful, and I'm being very truthful. They're extremely
Thank you.
impactful. But one of the things you had mentioned one time, you said that, just think about it this way. If you had, let's say, some of you may have children, like a son or a daughter, and they had this like really deadly disease, and in order for them to be cured, they had to have this special vaccine, and it was super super expensive. But somehow most of us are going to do whatever we needed to do to get that money, even if it was like $1 million. We're going to find a way to get that $1 million so our child would be taken care of. And so that's another thing that I'm often finding too. I mean, often a lot of my clients, they do come to me and they're in pain. And
Yes.
when you're thinking about, pain from a job search, I mean, yeah, it can be somewhat painful. The tons of rejections that you get, being out for 7, 8, 9 months at a time, the stuff that it does to your self-esteem and your mental health. And so they're in pain. And
Yeah.
so often they want to, if you can kind of lay something out in front of them, because you truly understand who they are,
Yeah.
and you can get to those pain points and truly lay that out in front of them. Often if they have the income, the wherewithal, I mean, they're going to pay whatever it is. I mean, you could tell them, hey, it's 20 grand or it's
Yeah.
whatever, because they're in pain and you have a solution and a way to get there.
Yes.
And so I think for in terms of, the value of the program and in building that value, and maybe even just the pricing around it, just think about that too. Like, what are they getting at the end of the day? I mean,
Yeah.
if you think about it, I mean, a lot of my clients, if they're getting their salaries are going up 2, 3, 5 times or 5xing it, that's, I mean, yeah,
Yes.
what's 5, 10,
Exactly.
$16,000.
Exactly. And I think it's important to understand, like, we serve people, like I said, we've helped people in over 600 niches. Not every niche is about increasing your income.
Mhm.
So that's why it's so important too, is like when you're determining the value of your expertise and your skill set and charging adequately, the most important exercise is to go, what is the cost to my ideal client of not having this outcome? And
Yeah.
I'm not just talking about money. I'm talking about mentally, financially, emotionally, spiritually. How is it affecting them? What are they having to invest into to like mitigate the consequence of that? Are they having to do therapy? Are they having to go and do workshops? Are they having to hire a coach? What are they trying to do to get this solution that your program provides? It's going to become really clear to you just what the cost is. I got so excited. I'm having a coughing attack. But I think that's so important for people to understand, is like, your expertise, the value of your expertise becomes very clear when you know the value of the outcome you're providing to people and the cost of them not having it. So hopefully that makes sense. I did just want to mention again, there's so many people in the chat and there's so many people engaged right now. If you're sitting there going, this is all adding up, this is making a ton of sense, and I think I want to maybe take a step towards actually doing this, I'm going to ask you to write in the chat, just write apply. And Nicole from our team will be able to help you. She's here. She's on it right now. Just put the word apply and we'll go from there. Excuse me. So is there anything else you want to say about properly evaluating the value of your expertise? So you feel like we can move on to the next piece?
Yeah, no, I think that's basically it. Yeah, no,
Okay.
yeah, that's
Cool. That was very, very helpful. And I feel like we had some serious light bulb moments. And that makes me very happy. So let's move on to probably one of the biggest hurdles mentally for people when they do want to start any kind of business or go anywhere outside their comfort zone: progress over perfection.
Mhm.
It's something I preach. I harp on this a lot. I think I harp on it so much because I am a recovering perfectionist. So for you, the whole concept when you come into our program is we we have a method, and the way that the method is laid out is you go to market as efficiently as possible, meaning that you are not building a website. You are not perfecting your brand. You don't
Right.
have brand colors. You don't have a funnel. We're just getting
Yeah.
your product, your
Yeah.
online program to market into the real hands of real people as quickly as possible so that you can get proof that it works and that people want to buy it. So that you don't go to the hassle of building out all of these things with a program that isn't actually going to sell.
Yeah.
For you, how challenging was it
Oh yeah.
to know that you were going to market with a prototype
Oh yeah.
version of your program
Yeah.
and not the perfect version of it?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, you're preaching. So, I mean, just like you, I mean, I'm was a perfectionist. Like, hey, everything needs to be perfect. Oh, don't you have to have a white website up? Don't they need to know about, should you start working on an email list? Should you start doing
Yeah.
this, doing that? No, 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 no. And one of the things that if you ever work with Sunny, she's gonna rip the Band-Aid right off. Like you just need to go out there and get this thing done. And
Yeah.
I love that. And that's so, so, so true. Get in front of those customers and the people that you believe you can help. And I would say that, yes, I used to hear that all the time, progress over perfection. And that, I even have that up somewhere in my office, progress over perfection. I mean, you don't have to be perfect, just keep making those steps towards your goal and just keep going. And like what she just mentioned, one of the things in the program is that, you put together a prototype, right? You put together something that is, it's not necessarily perfect, or it doesn't necessarily even have to be perfect. You're testing this thing out.
Mhm.
And as you test it out, you're getting feedback and kind of using, and I used to work for Silicon Valley companies, so I understand this 100%. I used to work for LinkedIn when LinkedIn was pre-IPO. And I
Yeah.
saw this often when they would
Mhm.
work with their product engineers and all that, where they're putting things out in the market, testing it out. Some things worked, some things didn't. But the things that did work, they just doubled down on it. And then, of course, they would get feedback and reiterate on it and make it better and better and better. And that is something that I still use to this day, in this business and even in my other business. And
Yeah.
you're able to, test things out. If things don't work out, that's totally fine.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to fail. You can have
Yeah.
little mini failures,
Failure's
and
feedback.
yeah,
That's all
failure
it is.
feedback. Yeah,
Yep.
100%. And so
Yep.
that has been a game changer. That has been awesome. So just get out there. Even if you don't feel confident about it, just go out there and get it done. It doesn't have to be perfect.
Yes.
You'll learn, if you fall on your face, get back up and go do it again.
It only makes you stronger. That's the thing, is like it is actually an asset when you
Yeah,
put something out and it's not perfect.
yeah.
There's no way that you would know until you actually get into the hands of real people. So if you go to the extent of building out the entire program and doing all the bells and whistles, and then you put it out there and people are like, the order of this isn't making sense to
Yeah.
me. And the way you said this, I don't know, it's not really adding up. And then
Mhm.
people are not happy
Yeah.
and you don't have an opportunity to really fix it. That's actually doing yourself and your business and your clients a disservice. So you actually you go to market without actually building your program. You build it out kind of week by week as you deliver
Mhm.
the first version of it. How important was the feedback that you got and how beneficial was it to your business now that your business is evergreen and you
Mhm.
have your finalized
Mhm.
program? How beneficial was that feedback?
Oh my goodness. I mean, extremely beneficial. I mean, if I didn't have that feedback, I mean, my messaging would be off. I wouldn't know how to market to my clients. I wouldn't know. I mean, it'd be a lot of things that would be off. But because I got that feedback, I'm able to market to my clients a lot easier. I understand my clients even better because that's part of understanding your customer. That's
Yes.
part of it. And so that's been everything. And you don't get that if you don't get out there. You
Yes.
just don't get that if you don't get out there. And so
Absolutely.
there is a portion of it where you have to sometimes just do it afraid. Even
Yep.
if you're afraid or you feel fearful, do it afraid. Do it
Yes.
fearful. Go out there and do it afraid. Shaking in your boots, go do it. Like get
Yes.
it done. And you'll be so thankful that the feedback that you will get. And because of that feedback, I reiterated that feedback. Now the people who do come into the program now, it all clicks for them, right? It's very wholesome for them. It all clicks. I even had one member just tell me the other day, there's nothing like this on the market. Of course there's nothing like this on the
Yay.
market, because I know that, because I
Yeah.
work with Sunny Money here. I know that where she has helped us to become an authority in our space. And that's the one thing that, we've learned quite a bit within this program is what is your unique angle? What is it that you bring to the table? And I think for some people, they kind of struggle with that. But
Mhm.
all of us have some unique angle in whatever space that
Yes.
we're in.
Yes.
And that's what's been really, really awesome, being able to kind of get that. And of course, you get some of that through the feedback as well. You will hear that from other people, like, wow, you do this better than anyone else I know.
Yeah.
Right. And so you'll hear some of that too.
And
And
it
so
removes those blind
it
spots that
removes it.
you have
Hmm.
because you aren't able to fully
Yeah.
know what it is that like other
Yeah.
people appreciate most about what you can do.
Yeah.
And it allows you to really focus on, like I said, that unique genius. And that's a big part of this. The old school way of like finding a niche and building a business was really like, what's in the market currently, what's working, and let's kind
Yeah.
of just copy that model.
Yeah.
And picking a broad category. The only way to really succeed, especially with any sort of online education business,
Yeah.
is to leverage your unique experience as an individual and your unique skill set as an individual, and the way that you tackle it is unlike anybody else out there. So that's what
Yeah.
allows you to go from unknown to authority. And that's
Yeah.
kind of the last talking point I wanted to touch on, because even though you've experienced some friction, even though you were like scared to put yourself out there, even though you were scared of, doing it imperfectly, you had mentioned earlier when we were talking offline, you mentioned how much this is done for your confidence. And
Mm.
so one would think like, oh my gosh, if I'm doing things imperfectly and I'm putting it out there and I'm opening myself to feedback, it would actually make you feel more insecure.
Yeah.
But why we do that is because it builds your confidence, because you're actually getting real results in real time, as opposed to
Yeah.
sitting there scared and perfecting things because you don't want anyone to see it.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about the effect the program's had on your confidence.
Yeah, no, it has tremendous effect in terms of what I do, the confidence of what I do here. Because one of the things that the program really brings out is helping you to become an authority in your space. And so when you're an authority in your space, I mean, that's saying quite a bit, right? If you're an authority in your space, I mean, you better be the authority in your space. And so, and really, it doesn't have to be a huge space, right? I mean, if you think about it, I mean, that's why we talk about niches, right?
Yeah.
Niching down. And so it doesn't have to necessarily be a big space. So you're authority within your niche, in your space. And for me, I think one of the things that the program has really brought out is all of this is not, I'm not like having to try, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's coming directly from my core. It's really coming
Yeah.
directly from my experiences, my expertise, my giftings, and all those different spaces. And so I'm 100% confident in what I do because, I actually have experience and expertise in this space, even though I was never necessarily branded a coach or anything
Yeah.
like that. And you don't have to be, right? You really don't
Yeah.
have to go get certifications. Some people think that you need to go get certifications, you need to go do this. It's like, no one really necessarily, to be honest with you, no one really cares about that.
People care about the results.
They care about the results,
Period.
100%. And that's you're absolutely right. I've never had, not once have I had any of my clients come to me and ask me, "Are you certified?" Not
Yeah.
once. They don't care about that.
No.
They're in pain and they want
Yes.
to know, okay, how are you going to help me? And they
Yeah.
want to know that, and they want to see those. And when they see those results and they see what's happened, they're like, you know what, I can get behind that.
Yes.
And so I would say that's the confidence that it's been able to give me. And also the results that I've been able to get our clients, and just seeing it like, wow, it actually, yeah, it works.
It
Right?
works.
It actually works. And it's worked over and over and over.
Yeah.
And it keeps working. It keeps
Yes.
working. So
Yes.
it's really, there's nothing more freeing to know, like, wow, you actually now have something that you can now, you can market.
Yeah.
You can build a business around.
Yeah.
This is yours. You own it.
Yeah.
You
You
know what
own
I
it.
mean? I mean, what greater investment can you get back from that? I mean, that's pretty good. I mean, when you can do that and actually build something that can actually generate income, and you can continue to grow it, you can continue to add value. I'm even thinking of ways to take the program to another level and
Yes.
growing it and doing all those different things. And it's just really exciting. And it's been a true blessing. True
And
blessing.
I think it's such a great, like, sort of process and cycle to go through of like, okay, I'm going to put this thing out in the world. I'm going to start getting results from my clients. Once you get the results, it shows you that what you do works, and it
Yeah.
helps you really own your authority, because you can become an authority just by creating something that is getting people results. But
Mhm.
when you see them over and over and over again and repeatedly, then it gives you this newfound level of confidence to go, it's okay if people disagree with me. It's okay
100%.
if people dislike me. I know what I do works, and I have all the receipts to back it up. So you're
100%.
not just sort of like arbitrarily throwing your skill set and your expertise out there and like hoping people respect you. You know you have respect because
Yeah.
you know what you do works.
Yeah.
And that is true trusted authority where people are like, I don't care, just
Yeah.
help me because I know you've helped all these other people.
Hundred,
Um,
100%.
yeah,
And a matter of fact, I've even had people sign up with us without even like wanting to question. They just said, "Hey, I've seen the results. I've
yeah,
seen what you have. I just want to know, okay, what's the process for getting there? Sign
yeah,
me up right
yeah,
there that very day." Right.
yeah.
So I've had a number of those because they see the results, they see what's there. At the end of the day, it's about outcomes, results. What can you bring to the table? Right.
That's
And
what people are
that's what
paying
they're looking
for. As we like to
for.
say, they're paying for transformation, not
Yeah.
information. So that's huge. So to wrap things up, for you, when you think about, life before the Authority Accelerator, life after the Authority Accelerator, what's kind of the main difference for you that you see?
I want to say more security, I would say, for
Mm,
sure. I mean, I think because one of the biggest things when I was kind of looking for, okay, just some additional, income stream to kind of build this up so we can, pay off our house and go do a
yeah,
bunch of other things and live our lives. And I would say with the program, I mean, man, we've made our money back many times over, and it's been awesome. I mean, it's very well worth it. And I would say it's been great just to be able to be on this other side now
yeah,
and accomplishing a lot of our own goals, both
yeah.
financially, family wise, personal wise. I was able to retire my wife, so she was
Oh,
able to come back from she was working full time, and now she doesn't have to do that anymore because our income
yeah,
surpassed what she was making there, just even just the side business itself.
yeah,
So that's been great. So to be able to take care of so we're all home, we're all here,
yeah,
and it's just great to be able to be with each other. And so I would say that's been huge. It's been a game changer to be able to do that.
yeah,
But again, it does take some of those steps, getting out there, not being afraid,
yeah,
doing, doesn't have to be perfect.
yeah.
And it is going to stretch you and
Hmm.
get you outside of your comfort zone. But on the other side of that fear or the underside of that uncomfort is going to be your promised land,
Yeah,
where it is you need to be. And so, so I would say that would be kind of the biggest, kind of night and day.
yeah. I love it. I mean, thank you for saying all of that. And I'm so happy to see your transformation. I mean, you just mentioned seeing your client results obviously gives you so much confidence, but like, this is why we do what we do. The program's almost been around for 5 years, this particular program. And there's thousands of people at this point where we're like, wow, like, we've really seen you transform not only your business but your entire life, and so this keeps us going. I know my team's here watching today as well, and we love doing these for that very reason, because it just proves like what we do works, and it's impacting real human beings and their lives and creating success ripples, and that's all we could ever ask for.
Yeah.
um, I know there are people here right now who are watching this who are going, this sounds really good. This sounds this sounds like pretty much exactly what I need.
Yeah.
But they're feeling that fear. They're feeling like I'm not ready. Maybe I don't have enough like my skill set nailed down right now. I don't know what kind of course I want to create, etc. All of those internal sort of questions are coming up. To the people or person who's watching this right now, who's having those doubts, but they know that they're ready, what would you say to them?
Yeah, I would say that I had some of those same doubts. I had some of those same, questions. Not every single last one of them, but I had some of those.
Yeah,
And I would just tell you that if you're really looking for something where you want to distinguish your voice from everybody else, you want to build a sustaining business that's going to be not necessarily just built around fads or the latest techniques, but really around your core and what you bring to the table. And also, you're looking for additional income that's actually going to help you if that's your thing, if that's what you want. And also, if you want to do something that you truly love and enjoy, um, jump in. And I would highly recommend jumping in and not just, there's a lot of great coaching you're going to get, a lot of great information you're going to get, but really jumping in and getting outside of your comfort zone. It's not going to be easy, just to be honest with you. It's not going to be easy, but at the
mhm,
same time, and Sunny makes that very clear too. It's not going to be easy. This is not for people who just want it easy. It's going to be work, but that's why, if it was easy, everybody else would do it, right? And they would
exactly.
be where they want to be. But that's the work that you're going to do or need to do to get to that other side, and then you'll be able to have something that you own and it's yours. You own it. Who's going to take it away from you? Your expertise and what you've built and how you've marketed. I mean, you own that, and
Yeah.
that's a really great feeling. So so I'd highly recommend, if you're on the fence, get over that fence, get off that fence, and get on the
Hop
other
on
side,
over.
and run over with Sunny Money there, and she'll help you out. So her program is absolutely amazing. So yeah, it's been a game changer. And I'm being very sincere. For those who know me, it has been a tremendous game changer. So
Thank you. I mean, that's why we do what we do. So thank you for saying that. I appreciate it. Thank you for taking the time to share your story too. If you are here, I know that I'm seeing some applies come in the chat, but even if you're watching the replay, be sure to put apply into the chat as well. Nicole from my team will get in touch with you. And then if you want to go directly to the link, I know Dawn just put apply in the chat as well. Don't be afraid. It's really just the first step. It's not like you're making a commitment to anything right now. We need to figure out if you're the right person for this program. We don't accept everyone into the program. We want to talk to you and make sure that this is actually going to be a fit. I know that sounds made up, but I'm telling you, Chuks knows, we don't let anyone into our programs. We let the right people into our program. So we want to make sure that it's of service to you, to make sure that you're at the right place for this to make sense. So it never hurts to have a conversation. So just put apply in the chat. Nicole will get in touch with you, or you can go directly to the link, sunnyleonardeasy.com/apply, to take the next step as well and join Chuks and I on the inside. Just want to say thank you again so much. I couldn't be happier for you. It's just amazing to see the full transformation happen. And I remember when you first shared the first bit of success you had with your program, and to see where you are today and to see that there's consistency, it's everything. So thank you. Thank you so much. And I'll see you very soon. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day. Bye.